Within 30 games, Alexander Isak has 16 goals for Newcastle United in all comps. In fact, on the topic of that, of his 57 appearances for the club, he has scored in 26 games and also has 3 assists to match. It's easy to see why he's been linked with Arsenal once again. He was previously linked with the football club during his time, of course, in Spain, and his link since joining Newcastle has followed. Obviously, Arsenal are on the pursuit for a striker. We've been linked with Isak as well as a number of names. Why Arsenal have been linked with Isak, I'm not sure, people. Is it because we've held an interest and previously tried to sign him before? Is it due to the ongoing FFP and profit and sustainability rumours we see Newcastle over and the issues that could present? I'm not too sure. Is it a case of us just needing a striker? Who knows, really? But it's hard not to like Isak. The first thing that comes to mind is he's 6'4", 6'5", and his feet, he reminds you of a 5'2" Spanish midfielder. He's very technical, lovely link-up play, plays with a swagger, technically sweet, plays with his head up, works the channels very well. I am very wary of comparing him to the great man Thierry Henry, and I don't think he's anywhere near. But I think there's very few players that are Thierry Henry-esque as much as Isak. I think through different reasons, Kylian Mbappe could have something to say about that. But you could see why I've got admiration for this player. There's a lot to like about him, and you could see how he could rekindle his, friendship on and off the field with Martin Odegaard, and at 24 years of age, how he would tie into what we're doing. And I know he's just basically joined Newcastle, but it's fair to say he's relatively Premier League proven. Is he the answer? Let's find out. And I mean, when you look at the data or some metrics to judge Isak, when you look at his heat map, you can see he is very much the modern day striker. He works the channels very well. He drops deep very well. He links up very well. In the simple terms of looking at, your general play, yes, he only has 3 assists this season and doesn't have the strongest record of assists for Newcastle. So you could say he's a bit selfish, but what striker shouldn't be selfish? I think when you look at his expected goals per 90, I think they look like there's room for improvement, and they can improve. And when you look at his passes per 90 minutes, they're very high. When you look at his shots per 90, they're very high. So this shows you somebody that isn't quiet across 90 minutes. He's very effective. The only thing, and we'll get onto it, you could get onto him about is his injuries, but his goals have come in bunches. But there's a lot to like. At 24 years of age, he's going to get better and better. It takes me back to Arsene Wenger's comments about a young Theo Walcott, where he said 26 years of age to 32 years of age is the best period for a striker. And actually, when I went on Arsenal's Live Nation, I asked a question to Jeremy Aliadier, and he said Arsene Wenger, a bit hypocritical to what I just said, but he said Arsene Wenger said 28 years of age is the best possible time. There's never a right time to buy any player. And when you look at half the strikers Arsenal are linked with, I don't think there is one where fans can look at with 100% conviction and say he's the guy. I really like the look of Isak because, he's played 30 games in all comps, has 16 goals to his name, 12 have come in the Premier League. He fits the profile. I think he's got the swagger, the confidence, obviously the ability. And at 24 years of age, he's got a wealth of experience. No two players' careers are the same, but at 24 years of age, it didn't quite happen for him at Borussia Dortmund. It took him a while to really find his feet and announce himself to the world. He's dealt with a lot of trials and tribulations. You could say that about Kai Havertz. You could say that about Martin Odegaard. You could say that about a number of players Mikel Arteta has recruited, and some players that have been at the football club already, and he's taken all of these experiences in his stride. And again, you're seeing the quality finally really start to show. I've got a lot of time for Isak. After his initial struggles at Borussia Dortmund, he obviously found his feet once again at Real Sociedad, and he's making a name for himself at Newcastle. Now, I'd imagine Newcastle are not going to let him go on the cheap, having invested heavily in him. And when you look at the price tags being demanded, regardless of this FFP stuff, they're going to want top money. I don't know how high he is up Arsenal's wish list, but you'd imagine he's a player that there's a lot of admiration at the football club for. Personally, I can only have 2 kind of points when it comes to concerns about Isak. Well, 3 actually. One would obviously be the price tag that Newcastle are demanding and whether Arsenal will deem it value for money or deem if this deal is possible. But that's not necessarily related to Isak. For me, it would be injuries. Arsenal tax applied. You can see with the injuries we've been dealing with since August and historically since we've stepped into the Emirates, and actually a number of our existing players. He's had groin injuries, thigh problems, hamstrings, knees, arms, shoulders, all sorts of things. In fact, having really and truly not been at Newcastle long, fair enough, he's only missed, 10 games across the last year. He did have 5 issues last season, or the 2022-23 campaign, in which he missed 16 games. So is he really durable? And when you look at us, we're becoming a football club that typically is going to have 2 games every week, 3 games every 10 days. And, in April, the fixture list is about to get a lot more condensed. We've been dealing with injuries since August. Now, granted, he might join Arsenal and he might never get injured again, but evidently that's going to be a thing. At the risk of sounding like a hypocrite, folks, because I do think, it's like, if I relate football to primary school or college or elementary stuff, I feel obviously playing in Sweden, going on loan to Spain / going over to Sociedad permanently, being at Borussia Dortmund and now Newcastle. This is all a solid foundation for someone that's been around on the scene for a while and only 24 years of age. So he's probably entering into that realm of being clinical. And please don't misunderstand me. I clearly have a lot of admiration for his talent. Stuttering there, no do-overs. We keep going. But when you look at it, though, people, yes, for Newcastle United, he's showing his thing. I think he's played 42 games, and got 22 goals. For Sociedad, in 132 games with 44 goals and 8 assists. Borussia Dortmund, he only got 13 appearances and scored a goal. 1 goal to his name, courtesy of transfer mark now, which I don't think might not be right. Now, obviously, he's 24, he's gone through the experience, and now it could be time to really announce yourself. But does this sound like someone on paper that's necessarily going to bring the goals and take us to another level, purely being devil's advocate? Because my personal opinion, I like Isak. If we could sign him tomorrow, I would sign him. I think he fits the system to a T. I think good footballers and intelligent footballers play well with each other, respectfully to Eddie Howe and what Newcastle United are doing. We're playing, our high pressing, our intense football, which he does do at Newcastle, will suit him at Arsenal. And we're a very technically sound side. Again, ballers can play with ballers. When you've got the intelligence of Sakas, of Martinellis, of Odegaards, of Jorginhos, of Declan Rice, and so on and so forth, when you've got an innovative and serious manager, Mikel Arteta, with inverted fullbacks and stuff, where you've got David Raya, who likes to go long, and you've seen Kai Havertz benefit from that. I think Isak would cook in this team. But just by looking at the metrics and the data, and not what I believe in potential and in theory, with what I am seeing with my own eyes / seeing, with all his potential and all his ability at this moment in time, if we signed him today, folks, do I necessarily think he takes us to the next level? I believe he can, but when I remove my love for the player, I can't sit here and lie to you lot and say I believe he does, even though I would sign him, people. I believe personally it comes down to price tag. And we also can't underestimate the fact that he is quote unquote Premier League proven. There has to be, obviously you can sign players from wherever, nobody cares, but there has to be somewhat of a direct correlation to a degree with Mikel Arteta's recruitment. Fair enough, Benjamin White only had 1 Premier League season to his name at the point of signing for Arsenal, on top of obviously going on loan. But you look at Benjamin White, Kai Havertz, Jorginho, obviously Declan Rice, and there's probably a couple of other names that I'm forgetting. Mikel Arteta is finding players all over the world, but we're also finding players that have played in this league. So could a solution be under our noses? I don't think Newcastle will be, queuing up to sell him to a Premier League rival. I don't personally think he's the first choice on Arsenal's potential shortlist. I don't know who it is. I think we'll explore several other targets and maybe circle back if there's a deal to be done. If there is an auction at Newcastle for players, then who wouldn't want Isak and also Bruno Gomares? Because I think Declan Rice and Gomares would be amazing. But yeah, that's just honestly what I believe, folks. With obviously the footage we've seen, all the information I've provided, and what I know of Mr. Alexander Isak, all in all, if there was an opportunity to sign him for Arsenal Football Club with all the things I like and all the concerns, I would get it done. I would get it done. I think, he fits the project, being 24, growing with our existing players, his intelligence, his mercurial talent, his dribbling skills, his manipulation of pace. I would get it done. I think he could improve defensively. I could think there's even more consistency in the variety of runs he makes. I think at times he could play to an even higher level. If there was an opportunity to get it done, then for me, I would love to get it done. Let me know your thoughts in relation to Isak. Would you like him to sign for Arsenal if there was an opportunity? Do you think he's overrated? Do you think he's the guy or not the guy? I'm not too sure. It's a bit weird though, because for someone that's 6 foot odd, people, he's not really the strongest in the air, but not everyone can be perfect. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Isak. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the other videos. We're on route to 70,000 subs, but the first stop is 60,000. And I believe we're flirting with it. We're down to our last stretch. We just need to get around 900 more people, and we're laughing. DG Nation is on the rise, just like Mikel Arteta's Tricky Reds. I don't know why I called them Tricky Reds, but up the Arsenal people. Smash the like button, subscribe. God bless you all. Let me know your thoughts. And until we meet again soon, peace.